Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt that aging is more than just what you see on your skin? The fine lines, the slower mornings, the changing body. They're all real, yes. But deep down, you can sense there's something else happening. Something invisible yet powerful. Because aging doesn't just happen on the outside. It happens in layers: emotional, mental, social, spiritual, and even energetic. Each layer reveals a different truth about who you're becoming. Most people only focus on the physical signs: wrinkles, hair color, stamina. But those are just the body's way of whispering that something deeper is shifting. The truth is, we age on 7 different levels, and understanding them can completely change how you see yourself, how you feel each day, and how much peace you carry through this journey. You'll start to see that aging isn't decline. It's transformation. It's your soul shedding what no longer serves you and stepping into wisdom. So if you've ever wondered why some people grow older and become more radiant, calm, and magnetic, while others seem to fade, stay with me to the end of this video. Because by the time you reach the 7th level, you'll understand aging in a way most people never do. This isn't about fear. It's about awakening to your own evolution. And if that kind of truth resonates with you, make sure to subscribe right now, so you don't miss any of our future reflections about aging, consciousness, and self-awareness. Now let's begin with the first level. The one everyone sees but few truly understand. The physical shift. This is where aging becomes visible. The skin softens. The muscles feel different. Energy doesn't flow quite the same. Maybe you notice your morning routine takes a bit longer, or recovery isn't as fast as it used to be. Most people stop here. They panic. They fight it with creams, diets, or even surgery. But all of that only touches the surface. The body isn't your enemy. It's your messenger. Your body is a mirror, quietly reflecting what's happening within your emotional and spiritual layers. It's asking you to slow down, to listen, to care in a new way. Movement, hydration, nutrition, and rest. These aren't chores anymore. They're rituals of love. Your body doesn't want to be perfect. It wants to be understood. Aging physically doesn't mean losing vitality. It means learning a new rhythm. Think of it this way. Your body has carried you through decades of laughter, love, and lessons. It's not failing you. It's evolving with you. So, instead of judging it, thank it. This shift isn't the end of youth. It's the beginning of wisdom. And if you're curious about what comes after the physical level, the emotional, mental, and spiritual layers that truly define how you age, stay with me to the end. Because the deeper we go, the more your perspective on aging will change forever. This is where aging begins to touch the heart. After the body starts to show its signs, emotions begin to rise from places you thought were long forgotten. Memories resurface. The laughter that once filled your home, the faces of people who are no longer here, the dreams you chased, and the ones you quietly let go of. Aging at this level is not just about feeling older. It's about feeling deeper. Many older adults describe this stage as a wave of mixed emotions: grief, nostalgia, regret, or even a surprising sense of peace. You start to notice that certain moments from your past replay in your mind, not to haunt you, but to be understood at last. Old arguments, missed opportunities, people you never said goodbye to. They come back because the heart is asking for closure. This is how the emotional body ages. It wants to release what it no longer needs to carry. Interestingly, emotions age too. They mature. The things that once made you angry, defensive, or insecure lose their power. You stop needing to prove yourself. You stop chasing validation. Where you once reacted with hurt, you now respond with quiet understanding. It's not numbness, it's wisdom. It's the realization that peace is worth more than being right. But for some, this level can feel heavy. Old wounds that were buried under years of busyness and distraction may rise to the surface. As people age, the mind begins to move in new directions. The thoughts that once revolved around goals, plans, and deadlines start to drift toward meaning, purpose, and reflection. It's not that the mind weakens, it transforms. It slows down in some ways, but deepens in others. Wisdom begins to replace speed. What once mattered was achievement. Now it's understanding. This is the mental shift, the third level of aging that no one really talks about. In earlier years, life feels like a race. You run from one task to another, collecting responsibilities, chasing ambitions, proving your worth. But as you grow older, something changes. You begin to realize that doing more doesn't always mean living more. The mind starts to ask quieter but deeper questions. What really mattered? What did I learn from all this? What do I truly value now? This shift can feel both unsettling and freeing. Because for the first time, you're not trying to get somewhere. You're simply trying to be. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "We cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of its morning." And that captures this level perfectly. The first half of life is about building careers, families, identities. The second half is about unbuilding, simplifying, reflecting, returning to what's real. The mental energy that once went into striving turns toward understanding. You begin to see patterns in your own story. How pain taught compassion. How loss shaped gratitude. How failure gave birth to wisdom. But this level isn't always peaceful. For some, the mind becomes restless, replaying the past and questioning what could have been done differently. Regret, guilt, or nostalgia can cloud this stage if the past hasn't been made peace with. That's why acceptance is so important, because when the mind accepts that everything unfolded as it needed to, it finally rests. When it doesn't, it lingers in the what-ifs. At this level, staying mentally active isn't just about preventing decline. It's about staying alive inside. Read new things. Learn a skill. Ask questions. Keep curiosity alive. Because curiosity is the mind's way of breathing. The more you stay interested in life, the more life stays interested in you. The mental level of aging isn't the end of thinking. It's the beginning of understanding. It's when you finally see that wisdom doesn't come from having all the answers, but from knowing which questions are worth asking. As we move into the fourth level of aging, the social shift, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. The world around you starts to quiet down. The phone rings less. The invitations slow. Friends move away, drift apart, or in some cases, pass on. For many, this feels like loss. But beneath that sadness is something else. Transformation. This stage isn't about losing people. It's about redefining connection. In youth, social life is wide, filled with acquaintances, colleagues, and casual friendships. But as you grow older, that circle naturally narrows. What once mattered, being included, being seen, being busy, starts to lose its grip. Now, it's not about how many people are around you, but who truly understands you. It's a shift from quantity to quality, from social noise to soulful presence. Your roles begin to change too. You may no longer be the caretaker, the worker, the one always needed. Instead, you become the mentor, the quiet observer, the wise one others seek out when life gets real. It can be strange at first to not be the center of everyone's plans. But this space gives you something precious. Peace. The kind of peace that only comes when you stop performing and start simply being. At this level, the soul begins to ask an honest question. Who really matters to me now? It's not a bitter question, but a clarifying one. Because not everyone you started the journey with is meant to walk with you to the end. Boundaries begin to form naturally. You learn to choose your energy wisely, not out of withdrawal, but out of love for your own calm. You begin to prefer fewer conversations that go deeper, instead of many that. Level 5 is one of the most profound and often the most difficult stages of aging, the identity shift. This is where many people quietly begin to ask, who am I now? For decades, you may have defined yourself through your work, your role in the family, your accomplishments, or even your appearance. But as time moves on and those outer layers begin to fade or change, something inside starts to stir. It can feel unsettling, as if you've lost your place in the world. This is the moment when many older adults begin to feel invisible, forgotten, or uncertain of their worth. The world, obsessed with youth and productivity, often overlooks the deep value of this stage. But here's the truth. This isn't the end of your identity. It's the unveiling of your truest one. What's happening now is sacred. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding everything that isn't truly you. Carl Jung called this process individuation, the journey of becoming whole, not perfect. It's the phase when you stop trying to be who the world wanted you to be and start remembering who you really are. You no longer chase validation. You begin to value authenticity. The opinions of others matter less because you finally see that your worth has never depended on them. You are not your achievements, your titles, or your youth. You are your wisdom, your kindness, your energy, the quiet power that still radiates even when the spotlight moves elsewhere. This is the stage where your inner light begins to glow more clearly because there's nothing left to prove. The masks fall away, and what remains is real, raw, simple, and deeply human. If this stage feels lonely, remember, it's not a void. It's space being made for truth. The more you let go of who you were, the freer you become to live as who you are now. And in that freedom, something beautiful happens. Peace replaces pressure. Self-acceptance replaces striving. And life begins to feel lighter again. So if you're in this identity shift, don't rush it. Don't fear it. This is not the end of your story. It's the first time you're meeting your soul without all the noise around it. Level 6 is a stage where something deep and quiet begins to awaken inside. The spiritual shift. This is when the questions become softer, yet more profound. Why am I here? What has my life meant? What truly lasts? It's not about religion or doctrine anymore. It's about connection with yourself, with others, and with something greater than the body. At this level, you begin to sense that the journey isn't ending. It's deepening. The fear of death starts to fade, replaced by a kind of curiosity, a gentle wondering about what lies beyond this chapter of existence. The ego, which once fought so hard to control and to be seen, starts to loosen its grip. You realize that life was never about clinging, but about experiencing, loving, and then letting go. You start to see that the body ages, but consciousness feels ageless. Memories may blur, but awareness, that inner spark that has watched every moment of your life, still shines bright. The small things that once caused anxiety now seem unimportant, and forgiveness comes easier. You forgive others, yourself, even life itself. You begin to understand that everything, every joy, every loss, had its purpose. Carl Jung once said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And at this level, you begin to live with your soul, not your survival. There's less resistance, less fighting, and more surrender, not the kind that means giving up, but the kind that means finally trusting the flow of life. You might find yourself drawn to silence, to prayer, meditation, nature, or simply moments of stillness. Because in that quiet, you can feel something larger holding you. You realize you've never truly been alone. You've always been part of something infinite. So take a breath and let this truth settle in. Aging isn't just the body changing. It's the soul awakening. And the deeper you go into this level, the lighter you begin to feel. Because peace at this stage is no longer something you search for. It becomes who you are. Level 7, the energetic shift, is the most subtle, yet the most powerful stage of aging. It's not about how you look or even what you do anymore. It's about how you feel, how you vibrate. By this point, you've moved through the layers of body, emotion, mind, identity, and spirit. And now everything begins to merge. You start to sense that life itself is energy, and your own energy has changed. It feels lighter, calmer, softer. This is the stage where you begin to detach from the noise of the world, the drama, the endless opinions, the rush to prove or achieve. You no longer chase life. You allow life to flow through you. Peace becomes your highest priority. You notice that your presence itself affects others. When you enter a room, people feel at ease. You radiate calm without effort, because you've let go of everything that once weighed you down. Science even suggests that our energy field, the electromagnetic field around the body, changes with our mindset and emotions. When you carry gratitude, acceptance, and love, your energy literally expands. That's why some older people seem to glow, even without makeup or youthful features. It's not their skin. It's their soul shining through. At this level, you begin to see everything as connected. You no longer separate yourself from others, from nature, from time. You realize that what you give out, peace, kindness, or bitterness, returns to you like a wave. And so you choose peace. You choose softness. You choose to move lightly through the world. This isn't the end. It's integration. It's when all the lessons, losses, and awakenings of your life settle into one still point of wisdom. You are becoming everything you were meant to be, not by doing, but by simply being. If you've reached or are moving toward this stage, Take a moment to honor it. Feel how far you've come, from struggling to control life, to finally trusting it. You've grown from resistance to resonance, from effort to ease, from fear to freedom. And that truly is the most beautiful form of aging, when your soul becomes lighter than time itself. Level 7, the energetic shift, is the most subtle, yet the most powerful stage of aging. It's not about how you look or even what you do anymore. It's about how you feel, how you vibrate. By this point, you've moved through the layers of body, emotion, mind, identity, and spirit. And now everything begins to merge. You start to sense that life itself is energy, and your own energy has changed. It feels lighter, calmer, softer. This is the stage where you begin to detach from the noise of the world, the drama, the endless opinions, the rush to prove or achieve. You no longer chase life. You allow life to flow through you. Peace becomes your highest priority. You notice that your presence itself affects others. When you enter a room, people feel at ease. You radiate calm without effort, because you've let go of everything that once weighed you down. Science even suggests that our energy field, the electromagnetic field around the body, changes with our mindset and emotions. When you carry gratitude, acceptance, and love, your energy literally expands. That's why some older people seem to glow, even without makeup or youthful features. It's not their skin. It's their soul shining through. At this level, you begin to see everything as connected. You no longer separate yourself from others, from nature, from time. You realize that what you give out, peace, kindness, or bitterness, returns to you like a wave. And so you choose peace. You choose softness. You choose to move lightly through the world. This isn't the end. It's integration. It's when all the lessons, losses, and awakenings of your life settle into one still point of wisdom. You are becoming everything you were meant to be, not by doing, but by simply being. If you've reached or are moving toward this stage, take a moment to honor it. Feel how far you've come, from struggling to control life, to finally trusting it. You've grown from resistance to resonance, from effort to ease, from fear to freedom. And that truly is the most beautiful form of aging, when your soul becomes lighter than time itself. When you look back across the 7 levels of aging, you begin to see a powerful pattern, from the body to the soul. Every layer is guiding you toward truth. The physical shift teaches acceptance. The emotional shift brings healing. The mental shift offers wisdom. The social shift reveals who truly matters. The identity shift uncovers your authentic self. The spiritual shift opens you to peace. And the energetic shift, that final sacred stage, brings everything together into harmony. Aging isn't decline, it's unfolding. It's the soul revealing itself through time. Each wrinkle, each quiet moment, each goodbye. They're not signs of loss, but signs of awakening. Every level invites you to live with more clarity, more honesty, more love. So instead of fighting the years, start listening to them. They're not taking something away. They're giving you understanding. Ask yourself right now, which level are you living in? Are you caring for your body, healing your emotions, expanding your mind, or lightening your energy? Wherever you are, know this. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Aging is not about running out of time. It's about learning how to be in time. When you understand the 7 levels of aging, you stop fearing time and start walking with it. You stop trying to stay young, and instead, you start staying true. Because every level brings you closer to the essence of who you are, peaceful, wise, and whole. So keep watching, keep reflecting, and most importantly, keep growing with us. If this message touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and stay with this community, where we explore psychology, aging, and spiritual growth with warmth and truth. Because growing older isn't about fading. It's about awakening. And the most beautiful part of life begins exactly where fear ends.